I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's like, yeah, I was at this restaurant / club, and she's like, I drank way too much. And then so for some reason, it popped in my head. I said, how'd you get home? She said, I drove. And I'm like, what you mean you drove? She's like, yeah, I drove home. And I was like, who were you with? She names a couple people. I was like, man, your friends suck. She's like, what do you mean my friends suck? I was like, if they were true friends, they would not allow you to drive home.
Right.
You know, like, oh, well, they drove home too. I'm like, hey, you guys all suck. Like, there's Uber, there's a million resources in the world.
Yeah, you go back to where I'll get your car.
She's like, well, I got home, I'm fine. I was like, no, that's not the point. The point is, like, real friends would never let you drive. Like, ever, no matter what. You know, and I have a buddy of mine who several years ago was at a Christmas party, had too much to drink, and I did not let him drive. He was pissed at me for 2 weeks because I took his keys and I did not let him drive. I forced him to go home in an Uber. He brought up, this was like 5 years ago. He brought it up about 6 months ago. He said, you know why I love you? I said, why? He said, I still remember the day he would not let me drive home. No one has ever done that. To me, that's like the most juvenile thing, right? But he still remembered it 5 years later.
Right.
He said, that was the day I knew you really genuinely cared.
Even though he couldn't stand you for it.
He was so pissed at me for 2.5 weeks afterwards. He did not talk to me for 2.5 weeks because he said I embarrassed him. I said, what would have been more embarrassing is if you had drove home.
Right.